We're going to learn how to write HTML code so that we can build web pages using code. It's a little bit tricky and difficult at times, and you'll need to pay very close attention. The first thing I'm going to do is create a blank web page. It's not going to do anything whatsoever, and I'm going to save it in my document, my area. And I've created a folder called HTML where I can save all my web pages. And the first page that I'm going to create is what I call a template. In other words, every single web page that I create from now on will start off with this file. So we need to get a program called Notepad++. Now you'll find that in Programming for Room 25, Notepad++. It's called a text editor, and it just allows us to write plain text, nothing fancy. So a web page is made up of what we call tags. They go between angle brackets. And these tags are rather like when we're playing with Word and we want to format something. So let me just start up Word. If I write a line of text, if I wanted to make the word line bold and change its font size, I can do that. Now that is all that a web page will do, is sort of format. That's exactly what I've done now with line, is format it. So we're going to write the words into our web page, and then we're going to apply some formatting to it. And the formatting comes between our two angle brackets, but they also give a lot more information. The first line we're going to write is an exclamation mark with the word doc type and then HTML. That tells the browser that what is coming next is a web page. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So now I'm going to write my web page, and usually these, we call them elements or tags, come in pairs. So this is the start of my web page. It says Hypertext Markup Language, and that's the start. And at some point later on in my file, I will have the bottom of it, the end of my page. And to say I've got the end of something, I use the / and then the same letters. So that says start my web page, that says end my web page. Now a web page is split into two parts. It's split into something called the head, which only talks to this sort of the blue bar and the writing at the top. And then there's the actual area where we type things, and that's called the body. So I'm going to set out my head, and I'm going to have a matching tag for the end of the head. And then I'm going to have the second part of my page, which is the body and end of the body. And that's pretty much all there is to my web page. Got one more thing to do. In the head, I'm going to have a title. Now you can see here where this is called new one, that is called a tab, and you'll notice that we got lots of tabs when we're in a browser. And what I'm going to write next is the thing that names that tab, and it's called title. I'm going to call it my page, and I'm going to have an end title. Oops, made a small mistake there. There we go. And that is a basic web page. So it tells the browser that what's coming is called HTML. These two here sort of lay out the start and the end of the web page, and the web page is in two parts, with the head and with the body, and each of those has an end tag that goes with it. And in the head we put title and end title, which will name the actual tab. So I'm going to save this into my documents, HTML, there we go, and I'm going to call this template, but watch carefully, because I'm going to change this where it says save as type. I'm going to change this to HTML, and roughly halfway down the list we can see hypertext markup language, different file type. If I click on that, it gives me a little .html after the name template. So I'm going to save that, and that is my first web page written. In the next video we're going to see how to start this web page and then write some code in a web page.